Well, for more on how the extradition process might play out and the legal issues involved in this case, let me turn to Anthony Clark Arend here in Washington. He's a professor at Georgetown University and author of Legal Rules and International Society. Professor, welcome.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So from what we understand, the extradition process of El Chapo to the United States could take at least a year. That seems like an awful long time. Does that seem like the normal amount to you, and why so long?
Well, the process varies from country to country. There's a treaty between the United States and Mexico that was adopted in 1980. And what it essentially says is that when the United States requests that an individual be extradited, that person has to appear before local judicial authorities in Mexico to basically show a prima facie case. That is the likelihood that that individual has committed the crimes for which he or she is being extradited. And so it really depends upon the normal processes that a domestic legal trial or legal process would take. And as I said, that varies from country to country. I don't know the details of Mexico's history in this area, but my understanding is it is not unusual for it to take weeks or perhaps months. A year would strike me as a bit long, but I don't think that we should anticipate that El Chapo will appear in the United States any day now. I think it's probably going to take several months. I don't regard that as unusual.
Now, the fact that this is a man who has escaped twice before, many are saying, well, the fact he's going to be in Mexico for a whole year, what guarantees do we have he's not going to escape again?
Well, I don't think we have any guarantees that he will not escape again, given in particular the amount of power that he wields in Mexico. Needless to say, in his previous escape, which was quite dramatic, he had a great deal of assistance, and I think there's probably no reason to think that he wouldn't be able to get such assistance once again. Now, that having been said, Mexico's prestige and reputation and authority is really on the line this time, so I assume they're going to do everything they can, redouble their efforts to make sure he doesn't escape. But once again, he's a very powerful person. It wouldn't surprise me if, in fact, he did escape. And this may be one reason why Mexico is so quick to cooperate with the United States. They may feel ultimately, if he's in the United States, he's going to be more likely to stay in jail once he would be tried in the U.S.
So a lot of people are also saying this is a man who faces charges in Mexico as well as the United States. We're talking about murder charges, kidnapping, drug trafficking, organized crime charges. So why would Mexico not want to charge this man and put him on trial in Mexico?
Well, that would make sense. And were the situation reversed, I'm certain that the United States would conduct the trial in the United States if it were a U.S. national who had committed these crimes in the U.S., even if they had committed crimes in Mexico. Try the person in the United States, serve their sentence in the United States, and then potentially be subject to extradition. But I actually think it reflects on two things. One, Mexico wanting to cooperate with the United States, given all the border instances, given all the concerns about narco trafficking. It would be a good way for Mexico to send a signal to the United States that we want to cooperate, we the Mexicans want to cooperate. And frankly, the other reason is they may feel that he would be better off in a U.S. prison outside of Mexico and be less likely to draw upon his power to be able to get out or commit other crimes, even while in prison.
I gotta ask you about the strange twist with Sean Penn, this interview for Rolling Stones magazine, a secret interview with Guzman with the help of this Mexican actress, Kate del Castillo. What do you make of this, and what about the ethical and legal considerations here?
Well, it's truly bizarre, and it was certainly a twist that no one expected. So I think there's several issues going on here. So legally, Sean Penn, we'd have to look at all the details of what he did. If you are aiding and abetting a criminal in some way in which you're furthering their criminal activity, there could potentially be legal liability for that. If you're an accessory after the fact, and again, are somehow supporting the criminal enterprise, you could be held liable for that criminally. Right now, there is no indication whatsoever that Sean Penn did anything other than go and conduct an interview. And as we know, journalists do that with bad people all over the world. whether it's Osama bin Laden or someone else who's committed war crimes. Those things take place. So legally, unless he were supporting criminal activity, I don't think he would be legally liable. Ethically, you know, there's a question when you're dealing with a bad person, a person you know who's wanted. How much do you tip off the authorities or not tip off the authorities? Now, what I most recently heard is that Penn may have actually tipped off the authorities following the interview. I don't know that to be true. I think it remains to be seen what actually happened, but I do have to say it is the most bizarre twist to this whole already bizarre circumstance with El Chapo.
And we should also add Sean Penn, the last time we checked, along with this Mexican actress, they're entertainers, they're in the show business world, not exactly in the field of journalism. I just wanted to add that. Thank you so much, Anthony Clark Aaron, for your time and perspective, sir.